guys, welcome back to another episode of Unboxed. For all our new listeners out there, welcome, hello, I am Aisha, your host. For all those who keep just deciding to come back and listen to me waffle on, thanks. Today we're joined by a legend, Tess Howard, hockey star, changemaker, and just an unapologetic feminist. Tess is probably one of the most ruthless players I've played against, but off the pitch she just exerts calm, confidence, and speaking up not just for herself, but for all us women in sport. From the heartbreak of a poetic injury to the power of reclaiming choice, yes, you heard that, over a pair of shorts, who would have thought? But Tess is going to tell us what it means to heal, to fight, and to lead with grace and grit. So enjoy the episode, listen along, take all the messages that you can, and while you're doing that, sure, go on, give us a wee follow, share with your granny down the road. But until the next one, stay unboxed. Guys, it's another episode today, and we are joined with probably one of GB's most exciting talents for the past few years, I'd say. Up front striker. Fun. Yeah, I know, you're welcome. But up front, ruthless. She's definitely had me a few times. Tess Howard, how are you doing? Welcome to the pod.
Yeah, wow. It's great to be here with a fellow rival goalkeeper. Well, I'm not a goalkeeper, obviously, but as in the rivalry between England and Ireland.
What? No, there's no such thing. We're all friends here, eh?
I suppose I don't really know too much about it, but I know obviously England, historically, we're not the best nation, but personally, we're all sort of people. It's quite funny when we play like the home nations and then play Ireland as well. It's sort of like, then there's a lot more from their side that like they're holding on to historically than us, but that's probably a lack of knowledge from our team about our nation anyway. Don't know why we're going straight into that, but
I'm here for it, the political divide, that gets everyone. But I think it's all common ground that in all sports we can say most people don't like England, unfortunately.
It's all right.
Unfortunately,
I haven't liked England at some points as well. Well, my family's South African, so whenever South Africa rugby play England, obviously you got to support the Bockies.
Oh, obviously, that's easy. Like, we'll join that one. We'll give England a few pity vans while we're at it. But yeah, so you've been playing hockey quite a while. For those that are listening, we'll know you from being on the hockey pitch for England and GB for quite a few years. Very successful player, Olympics, World Cups, Euros, the whole hoo-ha in between. But who is Tess off the field? That's what we want to know.
Wow. I'm pretty studious off the field. Pretty relaxed. I'm quite passionate and intense on the pitch. Probably fair analysis. And then off the pitch, I'm just quite chill. Although if people say I'm chill off the pitch, they're probably like only recently. I basically have been studying alongside hockey for my last 7 years. Finished a undergrad degree at Durham in geography, and then now doing my master's at LSE. And so that's sort of, I've always had like lots of other things going on, but the actual person underneath is just feminist and pretty chill. Just trying to do good in the world and have a good time, to be honest.
Yeah, I think we all are, but half of us maybe don't end up as chill and doing good as what you're doing. You've been playing hockey probably your whole life. What is it that made you want to stay in it? Why did you want to go and reach that top stage, the international level?
So I originally started playing rugby. Followed my older brother, South African family, so that was very much sort of the path. And then they discovered that Tess was a girl's name and that I was a girl. And then at age 11, had to change sport. Genuinely, I looked no different to my older brother when I was younger. And then basically couldn't play. So my mum took me to hockey training, and I think the early memories of hockey were freedom, teamwork, and sort of the mix of the two, of individual skill, mastery, and the thing that you can go on and do yourself, but then also all of that team aspect and camaraderie. And that's the reason why I'm still playing is camaraderie in the team. It's something that you don't get anywhere else. I actually had a break after the Olympics for a few months, and to be honest, I didn't really know if I wanted to come back. I was waiting for those feelings. Didn't play any club, and sort of 2 months in, I was like, there's something missing in my life. And I was so happy to have those feelings again, because when you do it every day and you see your teammates every day, sometimes that can become quite mundane. But then to have a break and realize actually there was something that was missing in my life, and that was hockey and team sport. It could have been rugby if it had been a different place, potentially. Although, I think my body's quite glad it wasn't. It wasn't rugby.
Yeah, I
So
could imagine.
but yeah, I think it's the camaraderie that's kept me going. And I love all of my memories are about junior hockey teams and being thrust into those environments. My first probably impactful coach under 18 England, Sarah Kelleher, actually Irish
Skelly.
player.
Go on, Skelly.
Yeah, one of my big life mentors, and especially as a young player, she brought in this concept of team values, and we never had it before, but we built our values every week. And I built it out of Lego as well for the team, because she just enabled that creativity. So I was really empowered by her to be myself, and that's probably why hockey has been the place where I've sort of grown up and become who I am, because it allows that sense of you're allowed to be yourself, and you're supported by your team in good teams, obviously.
Do you find that sometimes, of course, in team sports, in life, in everything, when you work in teams, it doesn't always go as planned, or you have as a team to work through moments of hardship, moments of where disagreements and things like that? Is there something that you feel that you can look back on and say, okay, I've learned from those moments to help me get to where I am now today?
Oh yeah, every year is different. Every tournament is different. England and Great Britain we've not been consistently successful over the time I've been in. And to be honest, when I joined, I wanted to help England and GB get back to consistent winning, but obviously it's not an individual thing, and I have my own journey as well. And I think the biggest thing that I've learned in tournaments, like we had back to back, we had in 2022, post my knee injury, my first two tournaments back, World Cup, Commonwealth Games, directly after each other. And World Cup, we go out in the quarterfinal and against Argentina in a great game, but we didn't play. Like, we were just holding on the whole time to a 1-0 loss eventually. And then the Commonwealth Games, we were given this team identity by Team England, and we were the hosts, and it was all about us. And going back obviously to history, obviously the Commonwealth Games is complicated for anybody who knows about the Commonwealth.
Small bit.
Yeah, exactly. It's important to talk about it, but it was weird because we were given this massive team identity. We were the ones to watch. Our final was against Australia, and we beat them, and we played properly. And it was that team identity that was given to us from Team England that made that same team that just played in the World Cup so much stronger. So I think what I learned from that was the importance of having a really strong team identity. And I don't think necessarily we got the connection with our group to enable a strong team identity to thrive on the pitch. But we have always had a vision as Great Britain that has been known as be the difference, inspire the future, create history. So there's been moments where like that has come out off pitch and on pitch. And so getting through the highs and lows is all, for me, it's always been about like connecting to that bigger identity. But it's just really interesting from looking at why we did really well in that tournament. I would probably put it down to being given this spotlight and this agency and empowerment from Team England, and all of the kit aspect, there's like the stadium aspect, so much to it that hockey generally lacks. So it was really exciting for us. I think that was a big thing for us as like a rebound to the World Cup as well. But then it's always tricky for England and GB because we seesaw between all of them, and nobody really knows who they're playing that day. Are they playing England? Are they playing GB? Who knows? And then the commentators call us different things. The Scottish girls get really annoyed. It's quite difficult in that sense to maintain that identity.
Do you think that because there is that kind of... Okay, so hold on quick. So for those that don't understand, Team GB is England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. It's up there. But so you guys are sometimes Team GB, or you're England. So Commonwealth Games, you're England. Europeans, it's England. Olympics is Team GB. So hopefully that kind of clears up for some people that maybe don't get It is quite confusing. You have to kind of live it to be able to get it. But for Com Games, cause you are Team England, then the Scottish girls or the Welsh girls go back and join their own home nations, right?
Yeah, exactly. And we're like that for the World Cup and the Euros, as you say. So we've always kind of struggled who is the England team, because all of our funding from National Lottery goes to Great Britain. So we're a Great Britain programme, everything's Great Britain. But it has been tricky to balance those two team identities, I think.
Yeah, I can imagine. Even those relationships as well must, be tough, because 1 minute user Team GB, it's a GB programme, user training for the ultimate goal of a 4-year cycle of going to the Olympics, but then maybe the next year you're just like, no, sorry, Scottish girls are going to join Scotland. So I can imagine those relationships is also hard to maintain.
Yeah, and I think it's like getting, because a lot of the time we all play together at club, so there's not, and we're all friends, so it's not like, and we train with each other every day as GB, but it's when, you separate us out for a period of time, and then you try 6 months before a tournament to bring us all back together. That is quite difficult. But we train every day together, so it's just slightly different tournament hockey to obviously training every day. But I think we do a good job, and now we're going into preparation for the Euros, and Scotland are also in A Euros. So sorry, in the same Euros as us. That's A division for those who don't know. So we're actually playing Scotland in our first game as England. So then there's also like, at what point do you separate? Because now literally competing. It's quite funny, but it's good.
Yeah, I can imagine it's tricky, and always playing a home nations game, like, it doesn't matter, the rankings go out the window, like, straight away. Because Scotland's our first game at the, what were we in January? Nations Cup. Ruthless. Just, honestly, it just, like,
it's more heated than non-home nations.
Honestly, like, you just can't explain it. You can't, like, no one can understand it unless you're actually in it, because it is honestly, like, it feels like do or die. Doesn't matter if it's the first game of a tournament, but it's like, I have to win this. Like, the end, I need the, like, rivalry to win. Literally. But you just mentioned there that you had a big knee injury just before the World Cup and the coming games. Tell us a bit about that. How did that all happen? How did you manage yourself with all the rehab come back in?
Well, it happened poetically 100 days before the Tokyo Olympics. So that was quite bizarre. It also happened on the 13th of April. So that's also, there's sort of a few things that just like, it's quite fairy tale. It just happened. I ruptured my ACL in training. Sort of an icy morning, just going right to left on the ball, and went to the ground. Then all training stops, and it's like I never normally scream. If I fall to the ground, I'm a floor to score kind of girl. Like I've always been tough. So when I screamed like that, I think everyone was like, "Oh my gosh!" And then was told that it was ruptured, and I went through the stages of grief for sure. And then only after I had achieved that stage of grief did I realize that I was in that stage, if you know what I mean. Like, it took me a long time to realize I was in denial, long time being angry.
There's a lot of hatred that goes along.
And then at the same time, I watched my team win bronze at Tokyo Olympics, which is like an absolute dream come true, and I'm so proud of my teammates. And then at the same time, I'm like struggling with these feelings, and I thought they needed me. Those sorts of feelings that when you become more mature and much and older, you can sort of look back and think those are like sort of natural to feel at those times. It doesn't make you a bad person. It's just like what you're going through, and that stage of grief. I did have quite a long depressive period that was triggered mostly by being alone, having to train every day, because after the Tokyo Olympics there was this big 5-month break for everybody, but I was back at Bisham Abbey where we train every day doing my rehab, and had no teammates, so that was really tough. I was also living alone at the time because it was the only way I could, everybody had left, my housemates had left, so it was a very lonely time. And I talk about it quite easily now because I'm out of it, but to get out of that, it took a big intervention from my physios to, I was emotionally eating and had a bad eating disorder at that time. And so I was so much overweight that it was not possible for me to start running. And so I basically had a month period where they're like, you have to hit this weight target if you're going to be safe enough to run. And that was like a huge smack in the face. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, and then, you're dealing with years of anxieties and all of that. So it was a big wrap up. And then 31st of December, 2021, I was just like, I got to get my shit together. If I want to make the World Cup and the Commonwealth Games, I just have to get myself together. I've had a few moments like that throughout my hockey career where it's been like, sit down, piece of paper or a whiteboard and just like, what am I going to do? Like, let's sort it out. Completely changed my routines to early morning wake ups and doing my rehab at different times, and just completely changed it. And then the team started to come back as well, which was useful, and it sort of started to get momentum. And then playing my first game back against Germany, it would have been 13 months or something after the injury, and scored a beautiful reverse stick goal. And I just remember like my teammates coming in, and it was the first time we'd beaten Germany since for years. And I think that moment for me was really special. But what I didn't realize is that I was still depressed. I had just found a way to cope, and the need to play and the need to get back for those tournaments exhausted all of my energy. That I was in the right place at the right time for the Commonwealth Games to score the winning goal, but I was dead inside. And after the tournaments, I just broke, and it was a accumulation of not having dealt with all of that. So it's like an overcoming of an injury story is always so much more complicated, and how you deal with grief. And I was just not myself at all during those tournaments. And whilst you can see moments of like absolute quality, they were so few and far between. And obviously those become the highlight reels, but it's not the truth. So it was a very tough period.
Thanks for sharing, because it's, I can empathize with where you're coming from, because I've had it myself. But I think to be able to openly and be honest and sharing that with us, I think huge kudos. Like, it's amazing to hear, because I also feel so many people, one, can relate to that, whether it's an injury with sport or something happens in their own personal lives and then they have to deal with it, and they don't realize there is a grieving process for these things that have to happen to try and accept it and move on. But you never really move on, you just sometimes learn to live with it. But I think that's also, a lot of people don't see that from sports people. They're like, oh yeah, they've come back from an injury, they've probably had all the support around them, living this high life, just training. They're now back, they've got, they're playing for England, they're playing for whoever. Oh, they've had it so easy. But actually they don't realize all the other bits that go with it. And I think that's something that, hopefully people can begin to understand and hear that from the likes of yourself and so many others, that it is such a process to get back, and how so much weighs on you, and you've so much doubts of yourself, that if you see your team go on and say win a bronze medal, and then you do feel like it's like, oh, maybe I'm not needed, maybe I'm not as good as I think I am, maybe I don't deserve to be here. Like, those thoughts always come in, and it's just trying to manage those and stay grounded. Easier said than done.
Yeah, for sure. And I think I got to a stage after the Commonwealth Games where I was like, what is my hockey career for? It was taken away from me. Injuries happen. So many people go through them, but it feels like a real personal attack. Like, why has the universe given me this? And then after the game, I did a little video of myself after surgery saying that we were going to win the Commonwealth Games. So I still have that, which is flipping hilarious. Like, I got to do some sort of reel with that, and I'm getting a little bit better at my reels, but I'm still learning. Those are sort of like fairy tale moments, but that's not the end of the story. I feel there was, because it's so poetic how it happened, it has to have been for a reason. And I'm not spiritual in the sense that I believe that everything happens for a reason. I actually believe that you have to believe that, otherwise you can't deal with what you get given. So it's so difficult to to take, but if you can somehow spin it, and I think that's a human thing to be able to spin things, and so I've decided to spin this story to meet what I need now, and I had to go through that to do this and that and that, and ultimately it's led to what does my hockey career mean. And a lot of people now know me for what I did straight after the Commonwealth Games, which was start the shorts campaign. And I would never have been able to do that had I not have had all of that time and reflection and realizing why I was so uncomfortable in my body, why I had such low self-esteem, why I hated seeing me on the front page of the newspapers when we won, and that discomfort in my own body and my uniform. It made sense. Like I was saying, oh, it's not my fault for feeling so insecure. There's something I could do about it. And I had to go through that. And now you say I'm very open. Well, I realized that if I wasn't going to say it, no one would. So I decided to, I still keep some things for myself, but if I don't share the genuine feeling of how it was, there won't be the empathy that's needed to make change. So I appreciate you saying that. Thanks.
No, of course. I think, again, it's something that a lot of people can relate to, male, female, young, old, everyone, and how they maybe don't feel comfortable in themselves because of what they're wearing, and how then that affects so much more than just that discomfort in themselves. They don't feel confident going out, then they start staying in a bit more. They start not playing sports. They stop doing the things that bring joy to people or give them an outlet or whatnot, and it all comes back to something as simple as what you're wearing. And I think, you mentioned it there about the shorts you made, but Tess has her own, is it a company, or like, how would you describe it?
Yeah, it's an organization doing inclusive sports kit policy. So we don't make any sportswear, but we just advocate for choice.
Fair, someone needs to. But essentially, Team England was the first female team who usually wear skirts or skirts to then wear shorts. That's correct?
Yeah, that's pretty simple. The first
sounds simple.
Yeah, it sounds simple. The first team sport to the team in any sport to wear a combination of items and be considered uniform. So essentially, you could only wear skirts is the tradition. And the rules stated that all members have to be uniform of the team. And it wasn't clear and it wasn't allowed really to change what you would wear. So you could all wear shorts if you wanted to, but there was never the choice, and there was never the tradition changed. The tradition had not changed. And I think what's interesting is that I mentioned that being my whole time academics and hockey, I did my research into the effect of gendered school sport uniforms on girls' participation in sport, and found overwhelmingly that it causes dropout rates, and that it's also super easy to fix in terms of allowing choice and other items to be worn. But there was this hold on tradition. So whilst I'm conducting this research and my dissertation, I'm also looking at my own sport and thinking, what the hell? And these two things go together. And then I'm also thinking about how insecure I feel, that we all train in shorts. You have to wear a compression tank top and a skort. And before games, people were like stretching their skorts over chairs. And I know Ireland also had the same kit sponsor. So everybody's stretching the stuff. You feel so insecure. There's probably like two people in the team that like don't feel anxiety. And
literally.
So I was just like, why? And the first thing I did with Anna Toman, who was also the we were like kit secretaries together, and basically she was the kit officer to start, and then I was like, I want to join, but just I'm not here to make kit. I'm here to like make policy change. We can have different roles.
Yeah, just to clarify, it's like I'm not there, I'm here.
Yeah. Let's do our strengths, because I knew the girls wouldn't want me doing anything fashion related, but. Yeah,
from
genuinely.
personal choices, or?
Well, this is 2022 me. I'm much cooler now.
Yeah, okay.
But back in the day, yeah, they would not take
We all
anything I
have rogue
gave.
outfits, don't worry, we all do.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's a rabbit hole we can go down another time.
Mm, that's a later conversation, don't worry. Any of my team that's listening, I'll have to whip out my wedges that I wore like post tournament. Yeah, bad, but it's okay. It's okay. We live and learn.
Yeah, exactly. Just got to get a personal stylist. Anyway, so Anna and I did a research, because I love research, into our team, just sent a form around. Would your performance and your confidence improve if we had different kit? 96% yes. Was like,
Wow.
it was crazy. So then we took this to, and this wasn't about shorts and skirts, by the way. This was about compression tank tops versus breathable shirts. And we took this and we said, look, our performance is actually being affected by the crap you make us wear.
Yeah.
And that could be for a whole host of reasons. But we people stretching, I actually can't even, and me as well. And I didn't want to touch the shorts thing just yet, you know. So we campaigned essentially to get better shirts, and Anna actually wrote something in the hockey paper that sort of was like, we deserve a voice, and then Specialist Sports didn't really like that, so then we said, well, you're not giving us a voice, so we've gone to the media, and now you're just sitting down with us. And it was in that first meeting that I brought up the concept of wearing shorts to play, and it was literally like a foreign language. Like, I was like, we already wear shorts to training. Like, it wouldn't be that different. Like,
Literally.
and there are so many sports already that wear shorts. Like,
Yeah.
but I was trying to originally I was trying to go along like the historical route of the only reason why we're wearing skirts in the first place is because in the 1900s the only way we could play hockey was if we affirmed our femininity, and by that we wear a long dress. And over time the feminists at B have slowly shortened that long dress to a shorter dress, and then to a skirt, and then to a skort. And so it's the best worst situation. The skort is the best of what we've had for a century. So I was sitting there like, look, this is still happening in schools, and this is the impact. We don't know the impact it's having on hockey, but I can tell you right now that state schools don't have as many skorts in their schools. Hockey is a direct relationship to private schools, and the image of hockey is taking a hit because we wear these stupid uniforms. Sorry, I never normally say
No, it
that.
is. I agree.
But we wear something that's been given to us because we've not historically been accepted in a sport. So that really had a big hold on me. So originally I went with that idea, and it was not really met very well because there was a lot of people who loved the tradition, and
Classic.
there was people who, you know, from those private schools as well, who were, it's the only thing they've ever known, and so that's fair. Then, you know, start talking to other things, and then talk to Miriam Pritchard, our goalkeeper. She was like, if I had to wear a skirt as an outfielder, I wouldn't have played. I got in goal because I didn't want to wear the skirt. And that's a story like, I mean, thank goodness there were skirts at the time that Miriam put the pads on, you know.
Yeah.
There was a second option, you know, and she's now an Olympic goalkeeper. But the fact that she was deterred from playing is that sort of what kind of got people on board. And then I realized actually that this was not a fight against tradition, this was a fight for practicality, performance, and choice. And so completely rebranded what we were trying to do to choice, and we were and logic, essentially, comfort, practicality. And once you laid out the argument like that, it just made sense. Like, it wasn't we're battering down the patriarchy, even though we are. It's sort of, we're actually doing something. Why would your daughter not be able to wear shorts? You know, those sorts of questions. And also, what is the evolution of hockey? What is its role as sport? Women's sport is changing as well. What is the narrative we want to tell? So it all culminated in this desire to be the first team to do it. And I was obviously so I published my research March 2023, had a big media storm, and I had a line in there that I wasn't sure if I wanted to share or not, but I said I want to go to the Olympics in shorts. And that was a bloody big, bold statement.
Bold statement, bold.
A, the policy was not changed. We didn't have any shorts, and also had to get selected. It's a lot of things to go wrong, but
yeah,
thankfully it didn't go wrong.
Jesus. You know what? You at least though it kind of gives you the confidence to write, okay, I've said it, like, fuck, I'm really going to do this now. I'm really going to go after this. One, to be selected, but two, because I want to have a choice in what I wear.
Yeah, and then once it became clear that I was happy to... This is somebody who was I was so deeply insecure 6 months before going out and talking about this. But the amount of sort of credibility that my research gave me, and that it was being cited by, you know, other publications, and it was in the Guardian, BBC, New York Times. It was, here is a Commonwealth Gold athlete advocating for something that needs to change in schools, but also in her own sport. And it was like this moment where I thought the whole world was going to change. Obviously it takes more time. But because of the media storm and because of the research, it made it very easy for the FIH to clarify what they meant by uniformity. And that's essentially what they did. They said it was never their intention to have only skirts, but we need to clarify what that means. It's only tradition that's dictated it. And then once we realized it was only tradition, we changed the wording to say, so the policy now says players can choose to wear skirts, shorts, and skirts in the same team, and as long as it looks uniform. And so the uniform thing is essentially like, as long as you kind of look the same, it's the same design, then it's fine. And then of course at the time Adidas Specialist Sports are like, oh my gosh, how are we going to make hockey shorts? That is so scary.
This whole new design needs to come. We've never thought of shorts before.
Genuinely. So we had to get them tailored by our person, and they only made 8 pairs. So the whole team wanted to go out and make a statement. All but 3 wanted to make a statement and go run out. It was actually our first game against you in the Euros. And we wanted to make a statement, and then we only had 8 pairs. So it was basically whoever fit in the shorts could wear them. Obviously I dibsed because I was like, guys, come on.
Yeah, it's my policies here.
Yeah, but actually we had overwhelmingly more women wanting to support it. And then when it came to the Olympics, we were in half and half, and it's generally been around that. It's just, you know, it's like, personally, do you feel like you're making a statement when you do it? I think that's what some people feel, but it's actually, you can't even tell when you play us who's wearing what. And like, that was really cool to see from the side, like people trying to like guess what, and people messaging, did you wear shorts? No, I was actually wearing a skirt. It looks like you're wearing shorts, or like, you know, vice versa. Quite funny. Because you can't tell. And then when we worked with Mizuno, we made, which also I need to talk to you about, because surely you guys should be able to have choice, or that's for something else. Sorry.
No, it's anyway. With Mizuno, we're just working on getting the same color, same same shade across, you know, top, shorts, or skirts and socks, same shade of green.
Oh, we haven't got the same shade of red either.
No,
but just happy to be wearing shorts, to be honest.
Yeah, literally. And like, ones that aren't up your arse, literally.
Yeah, so that's basically what happened. 2023, we had the Mizuno contract come in, and Toman and I sat down and we designed our kit, and they presented us with this absolutely diabolical pair of shorts that was designed from a skort. So I had the most bizarre meeting, a huge boardroom, all of the people who are big dogs there, and I was like, so for decades, we have been trying to create the most performance-based shorts for running and for football, let's say, for example. Why don't we use that technology to create the best possible hockey short, and then create a skort based off that technology rather than the reverse? And everyone in the room was like, oh my gosh, that's genius!
Someone hired Tess.
Unfortunately, so we actually have like high quality material skorts, but well, I think that there's so much more that they can do with it, but at least it's a material that's not like you know, year 6 PE. And that's become my new little slogan, is like, women's hockey is not year 6 PE. It's like, it needs to be taken seriously. If we want to go up against rugby and football and try and get an audience, we need to look like with being taken seriously. And to be honest, it's got to that stage where I'm like, I actually can't see another future other than it will trend towards shorts. Just makes sense.
It has to, because one, like, girls who those who choose to wear skirts, like, fair play, because I was also kind of in the same boat as Miriam, where I was like, I know, like, I played field. I would be class whenever I was younger. I used to think I was unbelievable, and so I would do goals for the first and play field for the seconds. But then I had to put a skirt on. I was like, I hate this. Like, it's actually the most horrific thing. But then I just find it so mind-blowing that even whenever you go into, like, meetings with all these big inventors, genius people who are changing all the sports and what they wear, and they couldn't come to this by themselves.
Yeah,
it's just like funny. It's mind-blowing.
It's just like changing perception as well. Like, I think there's so many reasons why hockey needs to change. And a huge part is role modeling. And if you've got an 8-year-old who has the choice to wear what she's wearing right now, running around and go and play rugby and be like totally normal, and football, or you have to go and change and over feminize, over sexualize a 10-year-old, and we don't realize that's what we're doing, but we are connecting to why skirts are still largely enforced in schools, and they say that it's optional, but there's this huge fear of masculinization, where actually, where you get to the point at age, once you've worn skirts as girls and boys wearing trousers or shorts at age 5, once you've done that for a couple of years, it's ingrained in them that is their gendered item, and that is what secures their femininity or masculinity. So then you just step into all of these other issues about masculinity and femininity when you can't do anything but cross-dress. And it's so funny, because I was like, what would be a good headline? Tess Howard cross-dressing in hockey. Like, that would be great, just to like make it as crazy as possible. That's essentially what we've done. We've said the shorts aren't just for the men. We need to find better ways to relate this narrative, that it's sort of, what needs to happen is a raising of consciousness. So it happened in our team, and we've got a new group, so it's different, but like those it was largely the women who were secure enough in who they were as sort of as people who felt like they could do it. And I don't mean that to say that I don't think choice is important, because there's everything I advocate for is for choice, because you have to make the change as you're ready. But if you are comfortable, you're practical, if you are being able to perform at your very best in the item that you choose, then that's all we want. But if you're somebody who's not doing that because you're scared of making a change or wearing something different, that's what we need to tackle. Why are you feeling insecure to make those decisions? And a lot of the time it is because we have a fear as female athletes that if we are not feminine, and if we're not, being able to be sexualized, not that's sorry, as in from the media, if we're not seen as desirable in our femininity, which I think is changing, but typically it's that. And in hockey, it's definitely that, because there is this, like, rugby and football are the masculine sports, and hockey is the one that you can play and still be feminine. And I'm like, well, I don't really believe in that. It's just a sport, and it's just a pair of shorts. It doesn't mean anything else.
Yeah, I think that's, like, you kind of hit the nail on the head, where it's like, it comes back to essentially say, like, what sells. And for women in the media, they're still trying to say that being really feminine, like having your legs out, having like a lot of skin showing, is really feminine. But it's actually just like, it comes from like a cultural change of like how people perceive people, or how what is accepted, or what is normal, because there is no such normal. Like, everyone has their own normal, but then it's just like people in these higher ups think that tradition has to stay, because they're so blindfolded to the idea that, yeah, we can choose how we feel comfortable and what actually people want to see. And it's not that being sexual in what you wear in your sport is what sells. It's the entertainment factor. It's the skill that's on show. It's these females are bringing and showcasing their talents to the world. Like, that is what sells. And yes, there has been a shift in that, but it's still so backwards whenever they think about it.
Yeah, definitely, for the major publications. And what I thought was, in doing this as well, was to bring another set of stories to hockey, and to be in the media for something that's really positive. unfortunately we haven't won anything recently big, so that's not really like something that they can celebrate. But like, what is our team identity? What do we stand for? How are we trying to rebrand hockey? How are we trying to increase participation and connect with those from, you know, lower economic backgrounds or different parts of the country? How are we connecting with them? And then it sort of makes sense to champion this. And so there's so many different aspects of why it matters. It's just sort of like finding a way to let it go. And I think that's what has been really great to see in the UK. And I think naturally it sort of happened originally with my connected clubs, maybe where I played growing up, Cambridge City, or friends that I have from university, like seeing all the work, and then brands being forward enough to provide shorts as well as skirts. What we've seen, like Wimbledon Hockey Club, 80% of their team play their matches in their shorts because they're really good shorts, and those aren't people that I like know about. Fiona Crackles and Flora Peel, who wear shorts when we're with England and GB. So they were like, "Are we going to have shorts with Wimbledon?" And then they made these really great shorts, and then through being an option, everyone else was like, "Yeah, sounds great." And then I was at the Oxford Cambridge match the other week, and both teams were all in shorts because they just wanted to do that for this season. They decided to change because then they can wear the same shorts to training, and it's like a sustainability thing as well. Like, then you sort of piece it all together, and there is this grassroots movement that's going on. My favorite bit is when you ask an 8-year-old who's wearing shorts, "Isn't that amazing that you're wearing shorts?" What do you mean?
Yeah.
And she's got no idea that it's like taking a campaign to let her wear shorts, but she's just like rolling around in these just happy days. But so yeah, there's lots of things to be proud of, but we have to. I really want the international movement to take off, and not less. It's not really. It's never been about me. I've wanted to wear shorts, and I want schools to change, but it's like if I had that at school and like somebody said it wasn't masculine to wear shorts, and like there was just so much. I used to go to flipping touch rugby in a score at age 17 because that would affirm that I was a girl. It's just so mental. And I know there are so many versions of myself in different schools, or people who are uncomfortable. And in the research I listened to everybody's stories, and I just felt them quite deep. So it's more, I want this movement to spread so that more people can just feel better in themselves, and feel less societal pressure to be a certain way. And yeah, there's a lot wrapped up in that though.
A lot, but I think in itself is something that you can be so proud of, that you've started this movement. It came from, for you, a very deep, dark place of, as you described, poetry and motion, of how you've done your knee, you've come into this full cycle, and now we're sitting here having a chat about how you did all this research, you invested all your time when things maybe weren't going as well for you, to try and make change for the future of how a culture should look at sports. And I think it's class. Like, honestly, it's just pure class to hear you discuss and talk about it, because I can hear that you're so passionate about it, about something as simple as a pair of shorts. And I think, honestly, Tess, like, it's class. It's actually class.
It's just a pair of shorts, what I say to myself every day. It's so annoying. What do the Island girls think of it? Do you guys, what's the vibes?
We've discussed it. Well, actually, no, not really. We haven't really discussed it. Whenever you guys came out, and obviously it was said that some of the England girls have shorts on, like, this is class, we were all like, whoa, this is actually sick, like, amazing to see this option. But again, I think it's also us as an Irish community, not that we're backwards, but we would tend to not be as outspoken about those things. Like, it's very clear for me, like, I would if I've said straight out, I was like, if I had to play field, I wouldn't be wearing a skirt, like, straight out. So I don't necessarily know if they know they have the choice to wear shorts. So it would it'd be an interesting one to have that conversation with them.
It would be cool to link up, because
definitely.
Especially it's really on the brands as well, because if there's not good quality items, then people aren't going to want to wear something else. And it's really because it's all about comfort and practicality. Like, if you don't have a good item, you're not going to wear it. But I think it's also finding that one or two people in the team that are the silent versions of me, if that makes sense. Like in netball, there are people who are me 2 years ago who like just not ready to do it, and that's why I wanted to create my organization, Inclusive Sportswear, because I was like, what would I have wanted to point to, or what help would I need if I didn't have to do this from scratch? Like, athlete trying to be the best version of yourself every day, and you have to think about campaigning for like the ability to wear shorts. Like, that's so ridiculous. But I was like, yeah, what do I want to point to? And that's why I created the Inclusive Sportswear Charter, because I was like, everybody should have choice. Everybody should be able to be comfortable, and sports should enable your participation and performance. It shouldn't take that away. So I created the charter, and then have been trying to work out how I can influence national governing bodies, brands, schools, and clubs. And so far, people are listening, which is hilarious. Not hilarious. I shouldn't say that. I'm very credible, but
very credible. You've done your research.
It is funny that, well, a lot of people think I'm a doctor because of the research, but I'm like, no, it was actually my undergraduate degree.
Oh my gosh. You know what, take it. If someone was to give Jess an honorary doctorate for this research, actually, no, you probably end up going and working and getting a doctorate.
Nah, it's so long. So long.
Fair.
No, fair. It's funny. Never say never, but yeah, it's quite funny because, like, I just came up with the idea, and then people and big brands and big NGBs are like, we want to get behind this. Like, we've got an issue, and one small aspect of inclusion is always kit, and how can you tackle that? And basically, like, how I sell it is, let's make sure everybody has choice, and then move on with our lives and go do something else. Because, like, it shouldn't even be something that we've spent energy on.
Yeah.
Policy practice done, and it's not as simple as that, but I hope it will be wrapped up soon, because there's other things like violence against women that's so much more important than sports kit policy. Why are we making somebody wear something that they don't want to wear?
I know, like, whenever you bring it back to that and actually give it, like, compare it to real world issues, it's so simple that, yeah, for anyone that's listening, like, go check out the website, like, just start talking about it, because the more people to talk about it, I think the more we're going to really drive change as a whole community of individuals, sports people, whoever you are, in schools, teachers, like parents, everything. The more we talk about it, the more this change will happen quicker, and we can, as you say, move on to hopefully issues that are more pressing in society than having the choice to wear a pair of shorts.
Yeah, exactly. Or yeah, more complicated. I think that's it's quite interesting, is a lot of people have a story. Well, every woman's got a story about her kit, and a lot of men do as well, and other people. It's that one time that made them never want to do gymnastics, or never want to do ballet, or all of these sports that are taken away because there's an expectation. And listening and connecting to those stories, you realize that what we wear is a representation of who we are, and who we might become, and all of those things. And there's a beautiful quote that I'd love to share with you, which is, clothes veil the body, yet unveil through the clues they provide much about its place in society. It's my favorite quote from, I didn't write it, but
no, just claim it. It's impressive.
The clothes veil the body, but they unveil through the clues they provide much about its place in society. And it connects the whole movement to body autonomy, respect for women, and the right to choose what we wear. And that's a movement that connects to Iran, to Afghanistan, it connects to the US. It connects in so many different ways, in so many different contexts. And it just so happens that we have a hockey situation that's now in a different space, but it's still on the brink of being solved. We have our own version, but what does it actually mean? And that's what I think brands and national governing bodies are connecting to, is the greater message behind why we want a girl at school to feel comfortable in her body and know that it's her right how she dresses, it's her right to feel comfortable. And then once you've connected the much greater story to a pair of shorts, you just want to wear them, don't you?
Yeah,
you just want to wear them.
Literally, as simple as that. But it isn't as simple. Well, it is, but it isn't. And I think, yeah, I could sit here and listen to you all day talk about it, because honestly, you're just so like, oh my gosh, I just have to go right now and just do this. Like, I feel so like motivated that I need to like just shout from every platform in Holland, because, well, no, probably they won't listen to me here, but I'll go back to Ireland and just shout to everyone about this, because it's seriously, class is all I have. Like, just pure class in what you represent and how you represent, yeah, our sport, and just trying to bring something as simple as that to a bigger audience. Is, if I can help in any way, I would love to, because
Sure.
class test, just bloody class.
That's really kind. So nice to connect, not on my face, on the, on the Astro.
Just, not sliding into each other, just like giving each other shit.
So great.
It's okay, we can laugh about it now.
Yeah. You guys, you're also in A Division Euros, is that right?
Yeah, that's so English.
Sorry.
Okay, the Dutch do that as well, and we actually play the Dutch. And they're like,
I just wanted to clarify that.
No, you're good. I'm joking. I'm ripping the face.
But we're not in the same group, so that's good.
Yeah. No, when was it? For the last World Cup and the Olympics, they were like, oh, did you qualify? I'd be like, yeah, your first game is against us. And they're like, oh, I'm so sorry.
They actually did that about the World Cup. That was a huge game. You guys held them for so long.
Yeah, and then we just shit the bed.
So it does always feel like that, doesn't it? How long can you hold? Yeah,
literally. It's like, okay, if you get past the first quarter, shit, we're doing really well. And it's like, oh my gosh, we're past the second. Like, what's happening?
We need to get past the third quarter, because we good until half time. And then I think they get frustrated. They work out what we're doing, and then we need to do something else, I think.
Yeah, you need to spice it up a little more.
Because I remember that we've had 2 half times against them, like, we're flipping in this, and then we make too much of a big deal about being in it, that then we lose 6-0.
Yeah. No, oh my gosh, that was the Euros in Mönchengladbach, and I remember that game because we played just before you. So I think we played Germany or something, and all I remember, so I was like walking out, and Lily Owlsley was coming in, being like, "We fucking got this, girls! We got this, girls! Let's go, girls!"
I can't believe you remember that. We were talking about that the other day.
Clear
and I was literally like, "Lil, you fucked it for us. You've actually just wound them all up, even though they're her friends."
Yeah. No, it was, it did give me a giggle.
Like twice.
Yeah. Oh,
so
I have people trying to call me. But okay, we can move on from our catch-ups of holding out the Dutch that I think every other nation in the world, maybe bar Argentina, can relate to. And we will finish off with the very well-known Unboxed 11. Now, answer however you like, whatever comes to heart. If it's a big spiel you want to give, more than welcome. Or if it's one word, just, plain sharp, I'm here for that as well. Okay?
I'll try to be concise.
First question is a big one. Favorite time of day?
6 p.m.
Oh, very, very precise. Okay.
Oh, sorry, you didn't want a time. Well, that's just
no. We're going with the time. It's 6 p.m. What's the best compliment you've ever received?
It's got to be from my mum, hasn't it? I love when my mum gives me compliments, because she's always like so over the top. What would she say? She always just calls me like a fantastic feminist. Whenever somebody calls me a like feminist, then I feel really, I feel really energized, and so yeah, anything to do with that. Like, I don't really do very well with compliments, but I like when it's connecting to, my values. So I'd say that.
Okay, shout out Mrs. Howard on the giving Tess the compliments. Okay, one song and a book that means something to you. And if you don't read, you can also say a podcast.
Do read.
I know some people don't. I find them weird. But that's okay.
Okay, my favourite quote from a song. My favourite song.
Choose your favourite song.
Oh, gosh, it's so difficult. Well, my favourite song, gosh, so much going through my head. Well, I'll just do my Fresher Idol. Fresher Idol, Bohemian Rhapsody. Just got so many layers to it. Belt it out. My favourite book, Hunger Games series.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, elite.
Yeah.
I think I read that in 3 days.
Yeah, it was the first series that my mum gave me, and I remember she read the first one and she was like, "You'll love this female protagonist," and I was just like, I felt so much like
Oh my, yeah, no, fair.
I'm right there with my bow and arrow.
I can actually see that. Sorry, have you seen there's the new one out?
Yeah.
I haven't read it yet. It's on my list.
Yeah, I've not read it either. It's exciting.
Okay, we can get on to that one. Okay, we need to move on quick from the books. What makes you smile the most?
Probably just cheesy, isn't it? Probably Jolly, my partner. He makes me smile the most. He's just very silly.
Perfect. I love that. 3 things you can't live without.
3 things I can't live without. Shall I do what's on my desk? Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Oh, what a woman.
No, I'm joking. I couldn't live without her because she changed the game.
Yeah.
My friends. My best friend gave me that, so that's quite nice. Okay. My mug. And I'm looking for one more thing. I couldn't live without playing. Just fair. Not necessarily hockey, just playing.
Fair. Some sort of something to get you moving. Okay, number 6. What's inspiring you in your life right now?
What's inspiring? Do you know, I'm really inspired by our new team at England, and I feel this revitalized energy for hockey, and it's really inspiring because we just got a really great camaraderie in the group, and I put it down to them. It's an inspiring group. I
like that. Shout out Team England. Number 7. If you weren't a hockey player, what would you be?
Oh gosh. Probably working in like conservation. That's what my mum does.
Yeah, she's in the I did some research, but the environment, or what is it, the sustainability.
She's a big dog in sustainability and conservation. Yeah, she works for a company called Nature Metrics, and they've created nature credits.
Wow.
So it's pretty cool. Well, they've created the technology that you can sequence DNA from any sample, could be water or dirt. They can show you the biodiversity level, so you can now measure that you're improving biodiversity or degrading it. So yeah, her title is Chief Nature Strategist. Isn't that the best title?
What a title! Oh my gosh,
she made it up.
Okay, fair. I would be if I had to make it up, I'd do something like that. Chief Nature
Strategist? Yeah.
Oh, that's elite level. Elite.
Big up Pippa Howard.
Yeah, seriously. Okay, number 8. What is the biggest misconception about you?
Oh gosh. Well, I think maybe if you see from the outside, probably extremely passionate, kind of like ruthless, maybe on the pitch like very aggressive, but I'm really soft. I'm really really soft, and I care really deeply, and I just that's probably, I think when people get to know me, they're like, they can see that softer side of me, but it's quite nice to be able to put that front on the hockey pitch.
I can confirm, for those that are listening, she would be a bit ruthless on the hockey pitch. Okay, number 9. Who do you look up to and why?
Many women and men in my life. I look up to my parents. I'd probably give them a shout out. My mum she's given me all of her activist genes, but she's also extremely selfless, and it's incredible how, as a mother, what she's done, and my dad has also made some big sacrifices for us as a family, and I appreciate what he's doing now. He's sort of realized that he's got value in himself as well, and he's like on this massive health trip, doing all this cycling, doing everything he wanted to do. I look up to them in different ways.
That's pretty incredible. Okay, last 2. One experience that significantly shaped who you are today.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a deep one.
One experience.
I can give you 2. You can do like 2 if you really want.
No, I'll probably go back. Okay, something that people don't know about me, hugely into the outdoors, and at my school had a scouts, and I was leader of scouts when I was 14, 15. That was hugely transformational for me, because I had to deliver these speeches to the troop, 150 kids, and organize the camps and everything. I think just being part of that, everything it gave me, and all of that organization, all of the public speaking, I used to leave every speech all I had to do was tell them what was going on in that day, but I would obviously end with a motivational quote, like silly stuff like that. It was, and then just being in the outdoors so much and connecting to nature, I think being part of that was really, really significant for me.
Interesting. And a fellow Scout person. I love it. Okay, and final one, right? The big one. How do you stay true to yourself, Tess? How do you stay unboxed?
Love that. How do I stay unboxed? Wow.
Yeah.
I try not to take myself too seriously, which is quite funny because I have to take myself seriously. No, I think I've always just wanted to be authentically myself. I don't want to ever be I don't ever say something that I don't believe in, do anything I don't believe in. So I think how I do that is just every now and again I sit down with my whiteboard like I did when I was 10, 12 years old, and like, all right, what's going on for the next few months? Who am I? I try to reflect a lot, and try to have good self-awareness and appreciation. I think after the Olympics, I was really struggling because there's so much to unpack, and everybody goes through it. And I didn't know if I wanted to continue, but I knew I just needed space. So I made the choice to not play any hockey and wait for those feelings to come back. And I think that was probably the best thing to get me back to who I am, is just giving myself space to like let those little feelings come back and that sort of stuff. That's what I do. I'm a big whiteboarder.
Fair. Honestly, I'm the old school as well, piece of paper, but maybe I should switch to the whiteboard for conservation stuff. Maybe I'll learn on that. Learn on that.
Paper's good.
Yeah. Tess, I just keep saying it. Your class, honestly.
It's so nice we're friends now.
Yeah, I've so much respect for you on the field and how much of a dogged fighter you are and how much pride you are when you play. But to sit here and chat and just listen to you and hear more about who you are, your values, where you come from, what you stand for, I think so many people can relate to a lot of what you said. And I just want to thank you for your time and sharing it. I honestly have loved it, just sitting chatting.
I've loved it too. Thanks so much for giving me the space, and it's so nice to properly connect.
I know. Next time it'll be after a tournament, maybe a few beers in hand, and then we'll just sit and chat and figure out how we can
here in
save
Germany.
the world.
Yeah, let's do it.
Again, Tess, thanks so much. For those of you that have loved listening to Tess and just how amazing she is, make sure to follow and like Unboxed Pod on all the social platforms that you want to listen to. And until next time, stay unboxed.
I love it. Thanks so much.